But first, with the news that TikTok's being investigated over how it uses children's data, the online world and how young people interact with it has never been more of a concern for parents.
The One Show has been given exclusive access to a new research project looking into the relationship between teenagers and screen time. Here's Angelica Bell.
As young people spend an increasing amount of time glued to their mobile phones, there are worrying reports of what they could be accessing from a young age.
I've seen over the time I've been teaching a massive increase in mental health issues in young people, and I think there is a connection there.
As a mum, I know just how important it is to keep our children safe online, and it can be really worrying to think about what they could be exposed to on the internet. But help could be on hand from a new research project which aims to address and reduce the risk of potentially harmful online behaviour. And The One Show has been given exclusive access to some of the people involved. Professor Naomi Feinberg from the University of Hertfordshire is leading the Bootstrap project, the largest ever European-wide research study which will monitor young people's internet use and understand which behaviours lead to harm.
We're recruiting more than 8,000 children aged 12 to 16 years across 9 countries in Europe. Almost every child now has a smartphone in their pocket. The harms are not only being presented with distressing or age-inappropriate material, but it's also its addictive potential. And the knock-on effect is that they can lose sleep and they don't engage in all those other important social and educational activities.
Pupils from schools in Hertfordshire are taking part in the study. They've each downloaded an app which will monitor how much time they're spending on their phones and what sort of apps they're visiting.
My phone will just be on the table and I'll just pick it up and start scrolling, and then I won't be able to stop scrolling because it's just like that addictive.
It is hard to say or hard to own up to, but it does get quite addicting.
Why did you want to get involved in the project?
Quite a lot of my friends aren't doing it because they think it's pointless and they don't want their personalities to change. I feel like I need to be on my phone less, and I feel like this project will help me with that.
Natalie Hall is the trial manager for the research. The app will also involve assessments and tasks for the young people.
When they start the app, they have these 4 blocks, and that's called their baseline assessments, and that's just getting an understanding of how they generally feel in themselves, their normal internet habits. It also has a few cognitive tests as well that we do. We're also collecting the information about how many apps they use in a day, how long they're spending on the app, what time they're opening their phone for the first time, what time they're putting it down of an evening, how far they're moving around during the day.
So you'll be able to collect data every hour?
Yeah, we're having it sort of like constantly throughout the day. So we can analyse which apps they're using, but we cannot see what it is they're actually doing on those apps or any of the content that they're seeing or that they're sending to each other.
I want to hear from the teachers about how big the problem of mobile phone use actually is.
A lot of our pastoral issues that we have in school, so for example bullying or any safeguarding concerns, quite often stem from problematic internet use.
Quite a lot of the time we find that things that are going on outside of school, especially on social media, get brought into school and we end up having to pick up those pieces.
Some of your students are going to be involved in the Bootstrap study.
Yeah.
How much of an impact do you think that will have?
Is allowing us to have other kinds of conversations in and around social media, conversations which are being led by our young people. So we're seeing that ripple going through the school already.
As for the parents, controlling children's internet usage can be a real challenge. Assistant Head Helen is mum to 13-year-old Abigail, who's involved in the study. Helen, are you ever concerned about Abigail's screen time?
I've gone for the trust her option, which most of the time I think does work, but I think teenagers are teenagers and phones are phones, and I think there's always going to be a temptation to be on the phone.
Why did you want Abigail to be part of the Bootstrap project?
It's not about her as an individual, it's about the broader nature of the research, and I think if that research can better understand the links between phone use and mental health, then it's worthwhile research to be part of.
With digital technology constantly evolving, it'll be fascinating to see how this project could inform the way we protect our children in the future.
Thanks for that, Angelica. We're definitely going to be following this study as it continues. Very interested to hear some of those findings.
Very.